Hey guys, it's QBricks, so welcome back to another video. So today we're doing another speed build and review, and this time I got a really cool set for you guys. This right here is the LEGO Barad-Dür, and this thing is awesome. And I'm super excited to open this thing up, but before we do that, let's check out the box. So the first thing that I noticed was this huge warning label on the front. And I've actually heard about LEGO doing this for a while, but this is the first time I've seen it in person. But also on the front we have a picture of the set with a really cool background, and we can also see that it has 5,471 pieces. Next up on the back of the box you can see the inside of the whole build, and right here we have a bunch of different scenes from the movies. On the top of the box we have all the characters from the set, and I think the one I'm most excited for is Soren. And lastly, just to the side, we have a few more warning labels. But now that we've checked out the box, I think it's finally time to open this thing. So with this we got everything ready, so now let's start the build. And right here we have a little scene where Frodo is tempted to throw the ring into the lava. But let's put this aside, because now we're going to start building this thing. And I think it makes more sense to move the pieces over here. Alright, so bag 1 is done, and all we really did was make a platform, and a smaller platform. But let's move on to bag 2 and keep working on this thing. Alright, so we finished bag 2, and this is looking really cool. I love how all the lava is flowing through here, and that we're finally starting the building. But so far I'm liking it, so let's go get bag number 3. And let's move this out of the way, because we're starting a whole new section. Alright, so that's bag 3 done, and we didn't do much. But let's get bag number 4, and make the golem. Alright, so we finished bag 4, and I think I'm starting to get the real idea of how big this thing is. But here we also have a golem, and this one's definitely creepier than the old one. But with that we got bag 5, so let's keep building this thing. Alright, so we got that one done, and that just added a bunch of progress. This wall looks really cool, and I'm excited for it to keep going this way. And in order for that we need bag 6, so let's keep building. So right there we kept adding to these walls, and they're looking pretty good. Plus we also have the secret spider, and to start on the inside. But let's go get bag number 7 and keep going. So with bag 7 done, this is how it's looking, and I really like this front walkway. But this time I'm going to do 2 bags to get some progress done, and hopefully soon we can finish the wall. So after that bag we started adding this part, and that means we're finally on double digits. But I think it's going to be pretty similar to this side, so let's do it. So on there we got to add more of this wall, but let's keep building and make it look like this one. So we just did 2 more bags, and the walls are almost the same. One big difference I noticed is this side has 3 panels, while this side only has 2 and some rocks. But we're getting closer, so let's keep going. So now we finished bag 13, and all of the walls are in the same spot. And it's definitely looking pretty menacing, but now I think it's time to keep working on the entrance. So on bag 14 we added these doors, and even though they don't have a ton of details, they still look pretty cool. And so far we still haven't done much on the inside of the build, and it looks like we're going to start that on bag 15. So on that bag we just started the floor of the new section, but it's not very much, so let's get some more bags done. Alright, so we finished bag 16, and that one was really cool. Obviously we added in this little middle part, but if you spin this axle, then the doors open up. But let's move on to bag 17 and finish up this book. Alright, so we just finished 2 bags, and that basically finished up this whole interior. There we added this brick on the side that when you spin it, it can open up the doors. And we also added a bunch of gear to the basement, including some really cool helmets. And also when we spin this gear over here, it raises the skeleton up and down. But we're getting really close to finishing the first part, so let's open up the last bag. Alright, so we finished bag 19, and that marks the end of book 1. So far I think my favorite parts of the build are either the opening doors, all of these spires on the front, and of course the dungeon in the back. And so far this has been super fun to build, so let's start on book number 2 and keep going. So on the first 2 bags of book 2 we made this little platform, and I think this is the start of the dining hall. But we still got a long ways to go, so let's keep building. So with a couple more bags we added these walls, and it looks like there's some ham on the menu. But this thing is coming along really nicely, so let's open up bag 24. So of those 2 bags we added these spires and those support beams on the wall, and I think these pieces definitely add a lot of color. But on bag 27 we're starting with some orcs, so let's get building. So with bag 27 we were able to finish book number 2, and that means we were finally able to put it on the main part of the build. Turning this around we got a really good look of the dining hall, and if you ask me, it looks like they're having a pretty good meal. But with this done we only have one more section to go, so let's open book 3 and start the tower. So after those bags we added this platform and a couple of walls, and I think this window right here looks really cool. Plus on the inside we have this nice pattern on the floor, and this pin slides in to move these discs. But now it's finally time for bag number 30, so let's keep building and adding some more walls. So on bag 30 we just went around and added some more walls, plus we also made the inside look a lot cooler. But on bag 31 we're going to start by building Soren, and I've been really excited for this one, so let's open it up. Alright, so there we finished up bag 31, and honestly, that one was not fun to build. Building this chair was super tedious, and we also had to put some pins in where they did not want to go. But it was definitely worth it because now that pin opens up to reveal the orb. And if we want to close it, we just push it in. But that's it for bag 31, so let's open up the next and keep going. So after those bags we finished this section and also started this one, and I think the rocks leading up to the top look really cool. Plus in here we got some really cool stickers, but unfortunately they're a bit tough to see. But now we only have 8 bags left to finish up this build, so let's keep working on this part. So with those 2 bags we really built up this top part, and so far this is looking super cool. Plus we also got to build the mouth of Soren, and I think this minifig is super creepy. And also before this came out he was only available in one really rare set, so it's nice to finally have one of my own. But with that it's finally time for bag 36, and this one seems pretty small. But that should mean it's quick, so let's get it done. So with a few more bags we were able to add these walls and some spikes, and the tower is definitely looking pretty evil. Plus in the back we got this really cool library with some really old text. But bag 39 is the second to last bag, so let's finally finish this thing. So on bag 39 we added these things on the sides, these blades down the front, and also the start of the eye. But that means we've officially made it to bag 40, aka the last bag. And on this one we're just gonna do the eye, so let's finally finish this thing up. Alright, so we just put the last pieces on, and here's the final section. As you can see, this looks crazy, and I did not expect the eye to turn out this good. All of these spikes and the translucent pieces look really cool, and with this button on the back, we're able to light up the eye. Plus, this is what it looks like when you turn the lights off. But now that we've got this done, we can finally add it to the rest of the build. Alright, so we got it put on top, and here it is. Clearly this thing looks insane, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. Plus, just seeing it put together is super impressive. But now it's time for the review, so we can finally move this desk back. Alright, so we got the desk put back, and here it is. As you can see, this thing is huge, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. But now it's time for the review, so let's get it started. First things first, I had a really good time building this thing. Even though some parts were pretty tedious to build, like that chair, in the end, most of it was not bad. And also, even if it was a bit annoying, it was definitely worth it, just because this build looks so cool. On the front, I really like all the lava going around, and all these really sharp spires too. Also, the texture and all the color used on the lava is really cool. And that's just some of the outside, but let's check out the inside. This thing is just packed with so many details, and I love all of the rooms. I think my favorite room is probably the dungeon just because it's the most detailed, but I also really like the throne room too. And this thing was obviously meant to look really menacing, and I think LEGO did a really good job with that. But now for I think my favorite part of the build, let's talk about the eye. This thing looks super good, and I love all the translucent pieces we used to make it light up. And it's pretty impressive that all it takes is a light brick to make it go from this all the way to this. And I've got to give credit to the designer again, because it really looks like it came straight out of the movies. But now that we've checked out most of the build, let's take a look at the minifigures. Alright, so here they are, and this set has a really good lineup. Starting off with my favorites, we got Soren and the Mouth of Soren, and I think that the helmets they have are so cool. Next up we got Sam and Frodo, and these are the only two hobbits from the set. Obviously here we got Gollum, and he's still looking for the ring. Right here we got 4 orcs from the army ready to defend the tower. And finally, we have the leader of the orcs. But all of these minifigures are really creepy, and this is something that I really like seeing from LEGO. Alright, so that was all the minifigures, and I think that concludes our speed building review. Honestly, that set was so fun to build, that if I had to rate it, I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. But with that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and if you made it this far, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'm still a small YouTuber, so any support really goes a long way. Also, if you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it at www.newworld.co. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I think that means QBricks out.